The New Haven. A controversial railroad, if one word had to describe it, but we're not here to dwell on its shortcomings. Today, I bring to you the pilot for a new series, Engines of the New Haven. In this series, I'll discuss the different steam, diesel, and electric locomotives of the New York, New Haven, and Hartford, as well as everything in between. I am kind of stealing this from Greenbrier Productions, but this series has been in my mind for a while. Now before we get into the engines, how about a little background? And scene. The year is 1872, and two of New England's biggest railroads are about to merge. Neither are struggling, but it was decided it would be best to create one continuous line from New York to Springfield, Massachusetts. Once this merger was finalized, the New York, New Haven, and Hartford Railroad dominated southern New England. Skipping ahead to the 1890s, Wall Street financier and banker J.P. Morgan saw his opportunity for money within the railroads and approached the New Haven. He wanted to monopolize New England's transportation scene by having the New Haven acquire 50 smaller companies. These included other smaller railroads in the region and ocean-going shipping lines. As well, he wanted to begin a vast network of electrified trolley lines to provide interurban service to all of southern New England. However, not all of this came to be. By 1912, the New Haven was operating over 2,000 miles of track and employed over 120,000 people, essentially monopolizing rail traffic from Boston to New York City. This monopolization ticked off many progressive-era reformers, turned the public away from the railroad, gave other companies reasons to jack up the price of their assets, and increased the railroad's building costs. In 1903, the New Haven's total debt had stacked up to $14 million. Only 10 years later, the number had skyrocketed to over $240 million, with new cars, trucks, and buses tanking their profits. The line struggled on until 1935, in the midst of the Great Depression, when finally it filed for bankruptcy after barely turning a profit. 12 years later, the railroad was revived, though had been significantly reduced. In 1954, the infamous Patrick McGinnis became president. However, he resigned only 2 years later after driving the railroad even further into the ground, and took control of the Boston and Maine. The railroad continued its struggles until going bankrupt for a second time in 1961. Finally, the company threw in the towel, merging its assets with Penn Central in 1969. Though this was more of a government decision. Penn Central, already a shoddy idea of a merger, filed for bankruptcy itself a year later. Today, the New Haven's lines are operated largely by Metro-North and Amtrak, as well as several freight railroads including Providence and Worcester and CSX. As for surviving motive power, well, that's what this series is all about. I'll start with the steamers, then move on to the diesels, then to the electrics. Not quite sure on the first episode's release date, but I'll leave you with this. It'll come out when it comes out. Mostly just gathering material now. With all that, see you guys in Engines of the New Haven, Episode 1.